All right. It's that time of year again. MIFF has just literally this weekend past just started. But we are joined by one of its programmers, Kate Fitzpatrick, whose name I promise one day I will remember correctly.
That mole.
To talk about uh things you can still see because the festival goes for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 weeks.
It never ends,
Long.
man.
It's a
It goes
never-ending festival.
on and
So,
on.
and there's heaps of events and special screenings, plus there's a whole regional program. So if you're not located in the center of Victoria of Melbourne, because that is the center of Victoria,
I mean, if you are located in the centre of Victoria, you can come to MIFF too, because we go to Central Victoria.
we're there. That's it. Fantastic.
Mhm. Yeah. Castlemaine, Theatre Royale, Castlemaine.
Yeah, right.
You can come and see some MIFF films there. We go to Echuca, Paramount Cinemas up in Echuca, Peninsula Cinemas down in Rosebud, the Pivotonian
Oh, the
down
Pivot.
in.
These are
In
all
fact,
cinemas that I've heard of in name only.
yeah, I've not been to the Pivotonian either, although I really want to go. But we're at the Pivotonian in Geelong, but also at the Village Cinemas in Geelong. So there's two different locations in Geelong that you can go to.
It's almost as
Um,
if Geelong is a city that supports two cinemas and not just a football team that everyone hates.
it's wild,
It's
right?
crazy.
Wild thing.
Yeah.
Um, the Star Cinema in Eaglehawk, which is just out of Bendigo, which is really great. I don't know if you've ever been there, but it's beautiful. It's like a town hall, really. And there's just couches that
I
you
only go to
watch.
Bendigo to get ice, so it's I'm usually too busy scratching my skin off to go see a film down there.
Is Bendigo a nice place? I
Oh,
did
sorry,
not know.
isn't the entirety of regional Victoria and
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's true, actually.
like
Yeah.
an ice hotspot?
You
Uh,
better watch that defamation. Um, we're in Morwell, Village Cinemas in Morwell, and Village Cinemas in Shepparton.
nice.
So
So
quite a
no
number
excuse
of
for
regional.
Victorians to go and see.
That's right. Get out there and support MIFF. And I mean, actually, there's no excuse for anyone in Australia because we're also online.
Oh, online as
We
well.
have a selection, very, very select um, number of films online, including Best MIFF Shorts will be available to stream, and you can stream anywhere in Australia. It's through Acme Cinema 3 is hosting the MIFF program this year online.
But wait a minute, Acme only has two cinemas.
So you need to know about
Ah,
their Cinema
there we go.
3, their online service. It's a wonderful service
That's
that we're
I
now
never
part
knew.
of.
I never knew that's what it was called. That's great.
Yeah, yeah, it's a really great service.
Is there an
Sorry,
earthquake? Is there an earthquake going on where you are right
I'm
now?
putting my slippers on. So I'm sorry. Don't put that online. Um, and I have my laptop on my knees.
I mean, last week it was giant cats invading the screen, and this week it's a there's an earthquake going.
Giant head.
Giant, yeah.
Well, actually, the films that I've talked about, Matt and Mara, is available to
Oh, to screen.
stream, which is really great. It's a really great selection of things. There's this really fantastic film actually on the streaming called The World According to Ali Willis. It's such a fun documentary. You might kind of go, who the hell is Ali Willis? I don't know who that person is. And that's kind of the whole point of the documentary. She's written all these songs that you know so well. She wrote Neutron Dance.
Wow.
She wrote September for Earth, Wind, Fire. She wrote the Friends theme. Um, she's amazing,
I'm
but
so
no one
glad that
really
you
knows.
started that with Neutron Dance, as that is the most important of those songs, which
It
is
totally,
such a
excuse me, but it totally is. And
yeah,
the film starts with that song.
yeah.
And I don't know, a kid from the 80s who loved was obsessed with Beverly Hills Cop. I was just sitting there going, "Oh yeah, I'm
I always,
totally
I always thought
already."
it was a crime that "The Heat Is On" is the breakout song from the Beverly Hills Cop soundtrack, when "Neutron Dance" is
It's such a
clearly,
great scene.
yeah,
Like it's, cannot hear that song and not see that truck just destroying every car in the street.
yeah,
Um, and Eddie Murphy with his contraband cigarettes. It's so
yeah.
too good. So it's just a really fun doc because she's really this larger than life figure. She's sadly no longer alive, but she's this really larger than life figure. There's interviews with great people like Pee Wee Herman and Lily Tomlin and Cyndi Lauper. Like she knew all these great people. She used to throw really great parties at this house that she owns. The house is fantastic. The house looks like it's made out of bubble gum. Um,
Amazing.
it's it's a really fun time. So yeah, have a look at the online program. That's a real standout for me in that.
There was one of the films that I was super keen to see, is one of the I think it was a MIFF Premier Fund film. It's an Australian one about this woman who's wants to be an actress, and but it doesn't happen. She ends up having a daughter and has a couple of kids, and then
Oh,
the daughter, she kind of pushes the daughter into acting, but then she goes and breaks her arm or something. So then the mother just basically assumes her identity.
yeah, that's
Is that
Audrey. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the daughter doesn't break her arm. The daughter actually like falls into a coma, and
right,
that's when she kind of assumes her identity. But it's also like the daughter is a nightmare. Like she's
right,
such an awful person, and she makes everybody else's life in the family a living hell. And so
right.
when she's in the coma, the family kind of it's like come out of themselves, and they're
Yeah,
like,
right.
"Oh, this is like really great. Life without this fucking bitch is really awesome." And their other daughter, who's kind of been shunted away, like ignored, finally gets some attention. And yeah, it's quite yeah, it's really Jackie Van Beek is really fantastic in it.
Yeah, I was.
She's an unhinged mother that tries to assume her daughter's career.
Yeah, the write up of it made it just sound so fantastic. I'm like, yes, definitely have to check that one out.
Yes, yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
am I right in saying that Warren Ellis, is it Warren Ellis? Who's coming? Someone's
Yes, Warren Ellis is indeed coming. We've got a number of guests coming. Warren Ellis is very exciting. We just had our music gala on the weekend, um, and yeah, he was in town for that. So doing it in conversation with him and Justin Kurzel, um, which is great. Justin Kurzel is the director of Ellis Park, which is it's a really great documentary about um, Warren Ellis's life, like growing up in Ballarat and so forth, but also about his response to COVID, which kind of led him to um, fund and co-found this animal sanctuary in Sumatra, which is doing really incredible work saving animals there. Um, it's a bit can be a tough watch at times because the animals have been mistreated, but these people and the woman who runs it, Femke, this Dutch woman, is just quite formidable. They're really doing incredible work there.
How formidable? Can she kill men with her thighs like the other Famke Janssen?
I, I wouldn't put it past
That's
her, quite frankly.
must be a good to
I
get that
wouldn't. Yeah, she's pretty great.
name.
Um, we've got a number of like our Bright Horizons directors are coming out. India Donaldson's coming out for Good One. Ginsel Balotis is coming out for Flow. Luna Carmoon's out for Horde. Mo Horawe's out for Village Next to Paradise. Um, yeah, there's Ondi Timon is here, which is really fantastic. She directed this music documentary back in 2004 called Dig, which
I remember
kind of,
Dig, yeah.
I don't know if you remember that film, yeah, about Dandy Warhols and Brian Jonestown massacre and their kind of
And their feud.
fractured, yeah,
Yeah.
friendship, frenemyship, um, which, you know, kind of looks at the rise of Dandy Warhols in the mainstream and how Brian Jonestown kind of went in the other direction. And
Well,
this new film, it's not a restoration or anything. This is actually a new cut of the film with 40 minutes of extra footage that includes that fateful gig at the Forum late last year of Brian Jonestown massacre, which turned into like a fist fight,
wow.
of like real, if you were, you know, had to be there kind of thing. So it's really fantastic, and she's here doing an In Conversation as well with our friend Zach Hepburn. He's doing the In
He's
Conversation with
moderating it.
her.
Oh, fantastic. Well,
Yeah.
that's because
So that would be really fantastic.
you know that Dandy Warhols won that feud because they were on Veronica Mars and Brian Jonestown Massacre were not, and that was the
Yes,
yeah, that was the definitive moment uh,
of course.
where he was there singing karaoke, which is so weird.
Yeah, that's
It
right.
was my favorite sequence in that series is that there's one guy who keeps trying to woo women but with his karaoke skills, and after he goes up, the next person up is always the lead singer of a famous band who just totally destroys him. One of the great bits of Veronica Mars.
Yeah,
Uh,
great. Um, yeah, we who else is in town? I mean, there's lots of great local talent. We're really our family gala this year is Magic Beach, and you know Rob Connolly is much beloved local filmmaker, film producer as well. Um, his film Magic Beach, it's a animated recreation of a much beloved children's book. Um, and I think it's 10 different animators have come together and each are dealing with a chapter of the book. So lots of them will be around for that. That's out at the Astor.
they won't be really used to sunlight, will they? Those guys. So
The
that'd be
animators.
fun. That'd be fun for them. Get out,
Yes,
fresh
exactly.
air, and check things out. It's a
It's
pretty
sunlight.
good year for animation this year at MIFF. Like I think last year the breakout one was the
Robot Dreams. Please say
yeah,
Robot
Robot
Dreams.
Dreams. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, the one where the dog makes the robot and he gets trapped on
Yeah.
the beach. Uh,
Yes. Which features September by Ali
by
Willis.
Alice Willis, yeah.
It all it all connects.
Which is a yeah, fantastic film. And this year looks like it's literally over. The program is overflowing with great animated movies.
Yeah, well, yeah, Flow is in competition, which is really great. It's great to have an animated film in there. The Concierge, which we mentioned last time, and Ghost Cat and Zoo, is really, really fun. That premiered in Cannes as well. That's a very cute fighting cat who helps this young girl kind of deal with essentially being abandoned by her father, really. But it's a really fun, cute animated film. And I mean, the animated shorts, I think they're always great to check out. They're definitely things that you can't see, generally can't see anyway.
It's always a
Outside of
mystery
them.
to me what happens to short films after they've played a festival because they do tend to disappear. Like they don't make it on YouTube really. They
No, I
don't
mean,
tend to go anywhere or do anything. Like that was the best thing about Tropfest was that they did that DVD that came out in the Age where it was like at least then you could see some of them
yeah,
again.
yeah. I think sometimes I think Sundance might have a thing where the films that win their competition they might be available online, but I think it's only for a short period of time. Same with the Oscar winners,
Yeah.
maybe short winners, they are available online, but I think it's only for a short amount of time. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when it used to be just kind of standard that you would get a short film before the feature film that you went to see at the cinema.
Yeah, right.
That that used to happen in the early 80s, I'm sure.
I
It
remember
seems
I only remember
crazy.
cartoons like every now and then, like before Who Framed Roger Rabbit and stuff. There'd be a short cartoon before the feature, but I don't remember shorts. Although, what was it? There was a I think the Gary Keedy who made Sons of Steel. They played Sons of Steel before June when that came out,
Oh,
but it was only like a short. Was it?
back in
Maybe it was the he made like a trailer, but the trailer went for like 15 minutes. There was something
oh,
happened that played before June, and it got a big pick up from it.
well, actually, at more recent times, I think it was Animal Kingdom. They had a short film. There was a short film that was screened before it, but when by the time I went to see Animal Kingdom, they showed the short film at the end of the movie,
Oh,
which I thought was crazy. And then someone, when I watched it, it was this quite intense short film where it's like it was filmed overseas. It's filmed, it was like in a war zone or whatever. And there's these people in an apartment, and people are coming like they're being invaded, and they've got a baby, and they're hiding in the cupboard, and the baby keeps making noise. So they end up smothering the baby so that they don't get found. And someone had told
understandable.
me that they stopped showing it before the feature because some people were so upset they
Oh, just
left the cinema and just never came back. So
I mean, way to keep things light by playing that kind of a short film. Like, not that Animal Kingdom isn't like a heavy movie, but
well, I mean,
it's not that kind of heavy. It's not like
well,
it's like showing the scene where the baby ODs in Train Spotting and going, oh,
oh,
let's just play this bit, and then we'll go into you
I
know,
mean, Animal Kingdom's pretty. I mean, he kills that woman. Like he gives her an overdose, doesn't he? I've only seen that movie once. Doesn't Ben
yeah,
Mendelsohn kill that woman in Animal Kingdom? Like he
in real
injects
life, and that yeah,
her. Indeed.
uh, yeah. Geez, it's been a long time since I've seen Animal Kingdom. I think I've seen the TV series more recently, which is
Oh, I never saw that.
such
I
a
don't, I
weird
don't,
thing
I
to
don't want to
think
relive that.
that sport. It's like there's a TV series of Snowtown after this. You're like, I don't know if I want to.
Oh no.
I don't want to watch. It's just barrel of fun. The Snowtown TV series.
Yeah, that's a tagline.
Yeah, it's barrels of fun. Yeah.
Roll out the barrels.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, um, what other special events have we got coming up? Well, I mean, we've got a great talks program. Obviously, the In Conversations are part of that. David Lowery is a pretty great guest that we have. He's actually on our jury for the Bright Horizons competition.
Who is
And he's
who
going to be,
who he
sorry,
who he?
David Lowery,
Yeah.
such visionary director. David Lowery did Ain't Them Body Saints, Ghost Story, The Green Knight.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So somebody
yeah.
clearly somebody that everyone's heard of and knows, and I'm just an idiot. Garrett Garrett will be listening to this and just going, "You fucking idiot."
It should be, I mean,
Ghost Story is like his favorite film of all time, I think.
is it? Oh, wow.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I did The Old Man and the Gun too, that
Oh,
Redford
the Robert Redford
movie.
movie.
Yeah. Um, and he's worked on a bunch of other films, like other people's films. But that I think that'll be a really interesting conversation. I think he's might be speaking with Zan Rowe, so that will be really great. Um,
And what is the what's the gala film this year?
well, I mean that's the music gala.
Oh, the music gala.
Yeah, we don't have a centerpiece anymore because the centerpiece, like the date that that would normally be on, that's Shorts Awards is on that night, which people should come along to. It's really great. See all the best shorts there. That's also the same night as the Godzilla marathon, though. So
That's a tough one.
there's some tough decisions to make at MIFF.
Yeah. Are they are they giving out Asahis at the Shorts Awards?
I mean, there'll be Asahi there, I'm sure. But it's
They're not
not
giving.
that's not
Hang on.
really on theme, is it?
I suppose I should clarify. They're not actually giving out. You don't get a free Asahi when you rock up to the Godzilla marathon.
Yeah, no, you do. It's a free Asahi.
Oh wow! How many
I
times
mean,
can you come in that door?
I, I I don't know about that. I think it
I can
might be one
imagine.
on the rock. I'm not sure. So, like, for full disclosure, I'm really not down with the whole beer dispersal situation.
How does it work? What color are the beer tickets this year? Have you got an
Uh,
example of one that I could perhaps make a copy of? Strictly for
If
research
I have a
purposes.
photocopying machine.
So every now and then you get like people would use raffle tickets, like the raffle ticket type things, as this is the ticket for this event, and you're like, if only I'd known, I could have
Yeah,
prepared. Just come with loads,
I would have bought any
yeah,
number of raffle ticket books
and just come in multiple times, getting that
in a variety of
free beer.
colors to have myself covered week to week. Um,
That's right, yeah.
we I think probably another thing to note is we've got I think an unprecedented number of IMAX films this year,
Oh wow,
and that's not just yeah. So I mean, obviously our Bright Horizons films, most of them screen there at least once, but there's this really amazing looking documentary about mushrooms called Fungi, um, that is narrated by Björk. And that is an IMAX film, um, which it just looks really beautiful. And IMAX films are great because they only go for like 45 minutes around that.
now you're talking my language.
Yeah, see, so you
That's
can stay
that's
awake
only that's
for
only
the
twice my
duration.
attention span, so that works out really well for me. So I need
And
to go to
last
mums
thing,
and bubs screenings
oh
where
yeah,
after 10 minutes I can make a bunch of noise and run around.
yeah, exactly,
Do
perfect. It's
cartwheels down the front.
first thing in the morning too, so it's
Yeah,
like your peak energy time.
yeah, that's right. No, so I didn't know that you're playing it at IMAX this year. That's great.
Yeah, we've done IMAX the last couple of years. I mean, we often, not every year, but we often will collaborate with IMAX on a specifically IMAX
An IMAX film.
film, which this year is a film called Lasting Impressions. It's kind of like those projection shows of like Van Gogh that they did in Melbourne recently. It's kind of got that kind of vibe to it. You're watching it on the IMAX screen, but the paintings are moving kind of, and there's that music that goes to them. It's kind of a great way to start your day, I must say. It's very
Right.
meditative, and it's a bit like being in a gallery installation. It's really nice. And then there's this other film. It's not an IMAX film, but we're screening it in IMAX because it's about this woman who runs a sanctuary in LA for injured hummingbirds. So there's all this, it's called Every Little Thing. And there's just some really incredibly beautiful imagery of hummingbirds,
Right.
which I also highly recommend as a source of meditation. Like it's really beautiful.
I just love that. Like even now in the world of animal rescue, you've got to find your niche. And
Yeah,
this woman has gone hummingbirds. That's for me.
yeah,
But, there's enough of
absolutely.
this. This is a thing.
And it's smart because I think everybody loves hummingbirds. And if people see an injured hummingbird, they're like, oh my God, I've got to help it because this tiny, tiny little thing.
Yeah. I always worry
What
about
kind
that because I feel like that. me picking it up to help it is going to give it a heart attack.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
I
it's
get
not
that.
like it's I'm the most comfortable thing, and nothing says safety like a hulking giant picking you up and going, "Oh, I'll save you." It's just
Yeah,
yeah,
fee, fi,
yeah,
fo,
that's
fum.
right. It's be terrifying for them. Uh,
Yeah, think about
all
that
right.
too.
Well, that's fantastic. Thank you very much for that. Kate. I hope that the next couple of weeks don't drive you to the point of exhaustion as the festival.
Oh, it,
Uh,
I mean, absolutely will. That's the point. But it'll be right at the end point, and I will just drop off with
well, that's
exhaustion on the 26th.
I did hear a rumor way back in my much younger years that the beauty of working for a festival like MIFF is that it's 6 months of absolutely nothing, followed by 6 months of absolute insanity. That is that the case? Is that
Look, I mean, it does. Obviously, we have some downtime, but you know, I. It's so weird to say this, but you're already looking at stuff for next year. I mean, as soon as it used to be, as soon as the film festival finishes, we're like looking at Venice, we're looking at TIFF, we're looking at, but those kind of things, they're happening almost now,
yeah?
which is wild. Always
It
like
just
gotta be ahead
well,
of
it's
the game.
because now there's such a a small window between festival and release, and release
Yeah,
and online release, that it's I think the festival window is just gonna be like from June to August every year, and all the festivals are just going to be in that period, and you just pick where you
yeah,
want your premiere to be,
yeah.
and that'll be it, and everyone will work
And you know
towards
what?
those dates.
Melbourne is a festival town, so that
It
also,
is.
gets harder and harder, I think.
I mean, the glory days of MIFF were when it was at Greater Union, Hoyts, Capital, Forum, and the biggest thing you had to do was that hellish run from the Forum to the Hoyts. You're like, this is all
Points, yeah,
uphill. This is
yeah,
outrageous.
absolutely. And the tram's not your friend. That's not going to help.
No, no,
You need to know the back way, like a dodgy way to go that's not up, because you can't get up Swanson Street quickly either,
no.
even
Yeah,
on
it was
foot.
always yeah. I just scheduled it. I was like, I just can't see that film if it's going to be straight after the Forum. Like, it was always the Forum. That was always the problem. If it was at the Forum, you're like, well, okay, then I can't go see that. I can always Capital, Hoyts, and Greater Union, always fine.
But the best thing is to Greater Union, you want everything to be in that, because then you just go from Cinema 6 to
Yeah,
Cinema 4 to Cinema, yeah.
yeah. That's the one. If they multiplex would just give up all its cinemas for the festival,
Oh,
then it would.
Hoyts, Modern Central, please.
Yeah, just give us
I
all the
love those
cinemas.
cinemas.
Yeah, and we'll just program that. We'll just take over the whole venue,
Yep, it
and
would be great.
then you can have a real kind of the festival lounge, and everyone's just hanging out there all the time. And that pub, the Lion Pub, would be
Oh, yeah, that's the only drawback of the whole
yeah,
thing. That you're in the shopping center.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, look, thank you so much for doing this. And as I said, good luck with the rest of the festival, and we will hopefully see you next year for MIFF 2025.
Cool. Thank you.